I've got an interesting problem and I think a reasonable solution for, an issue with the way the HVAC system was installed in my house. So the HVAC installer inside this house, included this 6-inch fresh air intake that pulls in fresh air from the backside of the house. But I live in a fairly windy area and I've got a lot of open space around me. Consequently, it was pulling in a lot of just dirty air. And, when I looked at the vent outside, it was just covered with, dust and even, I think, some animal fur from the dogs that they had. So it was pulling in all this dirty air and feeding it directly into my cold air return and just filling up my system with a bunch of dust and dirt. I was replacing filters once a month, and the house was just constantly filthy. So I took out the 6-inch pipe that they had put in, and I'm using a 4-inch concentric vent. So I'm pulling in fresh air and then hopefully exhausting what's already in the house past the fresh air as I'm pulling it in, maybe recovering a little bit of heat before it goes into the system. Probably not much though. So I've got the 4-inch vent line coming up to a couple of AC Infinity boxes. They're filter boxes. So I've got a MERV 8 in the first one and a MERV 12 in the second. Hoping that, the MERV 8 does most of the work, pulling all of the dust and junk out of the air that's being pulled in from outside the house. And then maybe the 12 can kind of do a little bit of fine tuning cleanup before it runs into a power vent that pushes it into my system now. So I'm constantly running fresh air into my system and into the house. This was all, based on some ideas that Cody and Lisa at Mainstream gave me. They install full HRV systems, but since my house is a new house and it's already complete, it's not a great candidate for an HRV system. So this was kind of a, let's see if we can continue to get fresh air into the house. Let's filter it up a little bit and let's see if we can recover a little bit of heat, but really clean up what's being brought in. And so I appreciated all their efforts and all their suggestions. And I think this whole thing only cost me about $500 plus some of my own labor to get it installed.